that's not a good one. That is a good one. Wow. Wowee. And this is why you never quit, no matter how far behind you are. If you can win, you can win. Priest, I don't believe it. Wow. And that's going to do it. A boss takes the series. So 2-1 to Priest.
Wow. I love Priest, man. Welcome back, everybody, to the European Regional Finals for the Hearthstone World Championship. Our first series is already done, and we have our first finalist for Day 3, a number guy from Team Innovation. He will sit on the sidelines and cheer on his teammate, Neirea, who's taking on the UK player, Max, who's a physics student and who's here trying to prove himself. Now, this is an elimination match, guys.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to take it here?
I mean, Neirea is just this player that has been killing lately. I mean, he played against you in the finals of the VGVN, and he's just such a high-end guy. He was directly seeded into this tournament, whereas Max is a very talented player, but he's only been playing for like 2.5 months competitively. So I have to go with Neirea as the favorite here.
Yeah, Neirea has been doing really well lately, and in particular, I'm interested in the Hunter deck that he chose to bring here. I mean, the Buzzard was just changed, and he still wanted to bring the Hunter. And apparently it has been doing quite well on the ladder, too. There have been many versions of Hunter.
I read a post.
Yeah,
apparently getting #1.
Yeah.
I mean, Priest gets good again, and he's like, no, I'm finally done that class. Let's go with Hunter. But, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I'm very excited to see it and how it does here today.
I think it'll do great, and I think Neirea will perform well at the same time because people are eyeing his performances at VGVN as well as the Prismatic Cup too. Can he carry that momentum? Well, let's learn a little bit about it and see if he's confident.
I'm Evgeny Shumilin. I'm from Ukraine. I started play Hearthstone at December, as I remember. I watched at September or October, I don't remember actually when. I watched some of top players stream, and I liked the game at all. Even if I don't know gameplay, but I like just design and probably gameplay too, because it's easy to understand it. And I decided to get beta key. I signed up for that and got since after 2 months of waiting. And started to play it very hard. The best part of Hearthstone, for me actually, is to make hard plays where it's not obvious like that, and never miss lethal too. To go to BlizzCon, it's super hard for each player, but I feel like it's my chance to get a pro player. And I hope I will not ruin it.
Well, Neirea came just short against his teammate. Now he faces up against Max, who he's talked about a little bit, only playing for a couple months. Well, let's find out more about our UK resident.
So my name is Max. My nickname is Max. I come from England, and I've been playing Hearthstone for about 4 to 5 months, playing competitively for about 2 months. And I first got into Hearthstone by watching Day 9's Spectacular series. And that's about it, really. That's me. My favourite part in Hearthstone is probably the look of defeat in my opponent's eyes when I Force of Nature Savage or top decker Leroy Jenkins. Just that one moment when it's me and them and there's nothing else, and I've succeeded, and that's the best thing about Hearthstone. It's a dream to have a shot at going to BlizzCon. When I started playing Hearthstone competitively on the ladder, I never thought I would get this far. Like, my goal was just to first top 16 the ladder. I managed that, and then I somehow managed to finish 7-2 in the qualifiers, and now I'm here competing. It's a surreal experience. There's nothing else like it I've ever done in my life.
Well, quite the stirring speech to show what inspires Max as a player. That's what I imagine every time an opponent beats me with the exact combination of cards you just mentioned. Now we look at these players a little bit more in depth. Savitz, who do you think has the edge here, just based off of the information from day number one? Because the players got to see each other's decks as they were being played. Do you feel like there's any information advantage for these guys?
I think Neirea might have the advantage here. The Hunter seems to match up fairly well against all of the Max's decks. And
let's not forget this is actually a Zoo deck from Max the Warlock. It is not Handlock, so could change things a little bit.
I don't quite remember if Neirea was running explosive traps in his Hunter, but I think he was not.
I think it was no explosive traps. I don't remember seeing an explosive trap at all yesterday.
That card is in particular against the Zoo. It's a really key card.
Yeah.
It allows you to damage multiple minions and maybe like without the explosive trap, it's actually quite hard. But I was talking with Max yesterday a bit, and he seemed really confident in his lineup against Neirea, and he had a solid game plan, and he was like he was really confident, like we saw from his interview too.
To be honest, I think his lineup is fine here. I think that the Hunter is kind of the scary deck out of Neirea. This is so funny because no one's really playing
nerfed?
Hunter, but it was just nerfed heavily. We don't think it's going to still be around, but it's actually like kind of the scary deck where I look at, I'm like, well, I guess Hunter actually can kill anything. But looking at some of these matchups, like he's playing Rogue, and I think that's a great deck to bring here, and it should do well overall. He banned the Handlock deck, so the Rogue deck has a chance to possibly 3-0. He's got the Pally deck, which definitely can take out the Priest deck, in my opinion. And Zoo, we all know Zoo can do anything if you get the right draw.
Rogue is also excellent against the Priest. The Priest seems to be kind of tough spot when looking at the Max's deck lists here.
Would you consider opening with it then to try to kind of see maybe you can steal a win real quick?
Yeah, I mean the way I look at Priest is that I try to, if I was to play Priest, I would try to pick the matchup carefully, so because it has many good matchups and many bad ones. So I would not start it, but looking at Max's lineup, it might be a good starter.
All right, well, it looks like we're going to go ahead and jump into this game, and starting from Max, it looks like this is going to be his Pally deck, and he's going to be going up against, well, that's a Violet Teacher. This could be his Rogue deck, actually. No, it's his Druid deck. It was actually hard to see for a moment. But anyways, it's going to be Druid going up against Pally. And what do you think about this matchup, Savitz?
It's an interesting one, and it doesn't favor either player too much. So there will be a lot of decision making, and since it's a ramped Druid, I believe it's a ramped Druid. The game is going to go long, and this is one of those games where one of those matchups where the experience with the matchup in particular will kick in, and maybe the more experienced player might be able to edge out the win.
Well, I would imagine that Neirea is maybe the more experienced player, as Max hasn't played competitively for as long. Like, Ramp Druid's been around a long time, Pally's been around a long time, so he's probably played it a bit more. But, I think against Ramp Druid, I'd feel pretty comfortable with a decent Pally control. If they spend so much mana on some of these big minions, and you can kind of remove them without too much trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if you can land a great equality, then you might be able to get the card advantage on the board at the same time.
Well, right now it looks like he will go ahead and start removing some of these tokens here. And I do like that play. I don't like going to face against Pally in a situation like this.
No.
Because those 1/1s will just, with an equality, it's like, well, 2 for 1, bam, done.
There is the power of the wild. Maybe I remembered wrong, and it's not that late game heavy Druid after all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? We did see the Violet Teacher, right? So it's the token Druid.
Yes.
That's what it is.
So
that's right.
It might be that that type of Druid actually matches up better against the Paladin, because Paladin is kind of slow, and if you get a good start, and like we saw here, he had the innervate and stuff, the Druid might be able to close this quite quickly.
Yeah. By the way, that was killing that token was very important with the 4/6 out. He actually did have the sword, so he could have killed off the Druid of the Claw. So that was actually a very, very good play there by Neirea.
Yeah, it's not an obvious play at all, but it made a lot of sense.
Well, taking a look at this. He does, of course, have this Wrath if he so chooses to use it. I think that the Keeper is not a good play here, really.
No, I think if you play the keeper, then you're probably silencing the Druid of the Claw, but it's not time for that quite yet, I think.
No, I don't think so. What do you think about... I don't really like it that much, but Power of the Wild and Hero Power, you could take out this 3/3. Make a 5/4. I'm almost feeling like using the Wrath, even though I don't really like using the Wrath like this. It's like kind of a weak turn, but at least you remove...
It seems alright.
Yeah.
Just kill that off and maybe play the Power of the Wild, either as a dude or as a buff.
Well, if he plays as
Which
a
one
dude,
do you do here?
I
mean, 3/2, as we can see, it actually... I think it's a better play, but there could have been a Consecration in the Paladin's hand.
Yeah. The thing is, just a straight-out Consecration is not that good here.
That's true. It would only kill the Panther.
Yeah, so I guess that's actually completely fine. It's, you know, it only costs 2 mana anyways, but let's take a look. I mean, he does have the combo that he could end up using, but you have to really be careful where you place that combo.
He might also get greedy here and just drop the Belcher and hope to see more minions come out from the Druid side.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if he drops the Belcher, it does definitely get removed without anything actually dying from Neirea's side.
And Neirea has the option to just not play more stuff.
Yeah, the turn 5 Belcher, that would be kind of weak, but...
I wouldn't mind the Wild Pyro equality here.
Yeah, the more I think
Just
about
clear
it,
that.
the thing that really I don't like about it is you don't even get to play a dude afterwards. Like, you're just on an empty board, and that never feels
that's
very
true.
good.
Then your opponent gets to play on an empty board too.
Yeah.
First.
Well, he could use the silence here for sure. Would you consider using the silence?
On the Belcher?
Yeah.
And just go face. Looking at his options, I don't know. I mean, I think I would just kill that. He does have 2 keepers, so he doesn't necessarily have to hold on to the first one. But I
Yeah.
mean, I would probably just take out the Belcher with the minions that he already has and
think
just
so.
and then drop the Violet Teacher.
Thing is, if he does take it out with the minions that he has and drops the Violet Teacher, that does set up for a really good equality.
It sure does.
And even if he doesn't drop another minion, if he takes out with the minions he has, that makes a Consecration very, very powerful.
Yeah. It looks like a really good board state for Max right now. Savage Roar.
That's not what I was expecting to see, but you know what? This actually plays
pretty
against
good.
both those cards. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good play.
Excellent play from Neirea there.
Yeah.
He recognized that he does have the double combo in the deck too, and he can afford to use a Roar here.
Yeah, that life total actually getting very low right now for Max. That is a tough situation. I think that, I mean, here, if you're not going to use the combo,
If you,
I think you've got to use, like, I would at minimum here play the sword and maybe consider using, like, a Wild Pyro plus Humility to take out, because then the Wild Pyro hit would help you take out the taunt. But, like, I would definitely at least Humility this guy. Oh, he's just going to clear the board, though.
I might have done it a bit different. I might have equality first and then go for a Wild Pyro Holy Light himself.
I agree with
would put
that.
the 3/1 on the table.
And you need the life gain, actually.
Yeah, he's gonna cast it sooner or later anyway. But here we see that the hero power would have taken out the Wild Pyro. There was a good turn from the Druid, and losing a 1/1 instead of the Wild Pyro. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, he could take that out instead. Does opt to gain some life here. Don't mind that at all, as it does line up to kill the Violet Teacher next turn. You don't like that play, though?
It's fine. It matches up very well against the 3/5. Neirea going extremely aggressive.
Well, that's pretty strong. Already we've seen one equality combo gone.
Yeah, it is.
Oh!
There's another one.
Doesn't have anything to go off with, though.
Yeah, I don't think this is the time for that.
Doesn't seem so. Maybe use the sword, kill off the 5/5 and the 2/2? Oh. He could use this Humility. I think you got to use Humilities a little bit quicker than what we've been seeing here. Like,
Yeah.
you could Humility the 4/1.
He's getting dangerously low here.
Yeah. Holy Light, Sword, Humility. And he can clear a couple minions off the board and gain a decent amount of health as well. Oh, okay. Actually,
Let's see if
I
he
like
lands.
this better.
Wow, he got the wild teacher.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
With this result, that was absolutely the most powerful turn that he could have had.
Yeah, and you can see Neirea is not too happy with that one.
No, he wanted to keep the wild teacher.
Yeah. Well, looks like we will with the swipe and one of these Keeper of the Groves. Go ahead and clear this board off. Still a pretty decent board for him.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's really stabilized at this point.
Yeah.
With his True Silver,
managed
he's
to
totally fine.
Having double True Silver is not the best thing ever here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he would have hoped to have something like a Sludge Peltzer instead of the second one.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But, you know, having both of them means that he can clear this board quite easily. The thing is, you know, if a 5 health minion comes out, it's going to be a little bit harder because I imagine with one card in here, we're going to see hero power to take out these 1/1s every time. And, ooh, not the best draw with the Haunted Creeper.
Not
right
at
now.
all. He was hoping to see something like an Ancient of Lore. He needs to draw the Ancient of Lore quickly. He only has the Keeper in his hand, and Paladin is gonna have more powerful turns now.
Would you play True Silver here? Just blank. Play the True Silver, or do you want to make a dude?
I think the True Silver is a good play,
Yeah.
because the Kel'Thuzad might be coming out next turn, so he wouldn't have the mana to play the True Silver also. There's the
Yeah.
lore.
Completely agree with that. Well, the good thing with
But he needs to get some good cards to finish this off, because he has the Kel'Thuzad coming up, and there's the Cairn. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff on the Paladin side of the board.
You know what is so awesome here? Equality Kel'Thuzad is like one of my favorite things in the whole world.
Equality Kel'Thuzad.
It's like the crazy, like Equality, you run your Karn right into this 5/5, you hit your sword into,
Yes.
I guess, you know, the spiders or the phase or whatever. It doesn't matter because Kel'Thuzad is going to bring Karn right back. You're going to have a Bane, a Karn, and a Kel'Thuzad.
That's a lot of power and toughness on the table.
I think he's considering being really greedy here. Like, look at the way he's actually thinking about this. Like, he's thinking, can I use my sword and save this combo? And I think that there's no reason when you're going to have 2 4/5s and a 6/8 out.
He's too low right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't take the damage from the lore. And also, if he plays the combo, he's not gonna have all that much on the table. I feel like this is by far the strongest play.
I really like this, and I actually like him attacking face to gain some health and not make 2 spider tokens. That's like...
If there was a second Savage Roar, for example, then both of the spiders would get the buff, and with something like a Druid of the Claw, he might even die.
Well, we're gonna have to see what Neirea can do here. That is so much damage there. Oh my god, that's 18 damage on board.
Wow. Drop the lore and hope to pick up the last roar.
Nope. Does not get it there. Can play a spider. Still has him down to 12. He's going to live through this turn for sure.
Those small spiders are really tricky to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Max needs like any spell. He was hoping to draw any spell at all. He could have, so he could have first killed off the spiders and
I
just
think
thrown the Cairn into the second Ancient floor and get another Cairn. But Stampeding Kodo, it's not the worst thing ever, but it's not optimal.
Yeah, I don't know if I would play the Stampeding Kodo this turn. I think that I like this play that he's
Probably
doing,
not.
and I would attack
Just
the
go
phase.
phase.
Yeah. I think that this is the best play for him. And the thing is, if his opponent gets the combo, that's it. You're just dead anyway.
Yeah,
There's
there's
nothing
no way
you can do
to
about
stop
it.
that is true.
Like, if he were to just draw his second Savage Roar here, the game is over.
Wow, that Kel'Thuzad are doing so much work.
Oh, man.
Does he get the roar?
That is not the Roar. I guess you're going to Azure Drake because you're dead next turn.
What can he even draw off the Drake?
You don't know until you play it. I wouldn't even want to stretch my brain to think of what I need.
Seems fairly hopeless for Neirea right now. Looking at 19 power. No way to kill his opponent, and probably there's not even a defensive play that would I guess he could Force of Nature into the Kel'Thuzad, but it's not something you want to do.
Yeah, but that's still, there's 4 attack guys, so it's 16. Yeah, I guess if he uses hero power as well, he could have lived possibly.
Yeah, but that's it. And Max takes 1-0 lead over Neirea.
And you can see he's very happy about that right now.
Oh yeah, looking at his opponent's face with the defeat and stuff.
Yeah, this is what motivates him to play not StarCraft, Hearthstone. You know, he loves to see his opponent crushed by what just happened. Well, that Kel'Thuzad was pretty crazy. You know, I've tried Kel'Thuzad myself a little bit in Paladin. What do you think about it in Pally? Like control Pally.
I like it a lot. There's so many, all the taunters, because the one way for Paladin, even though he didn't draw the taunts this game, there are quite a few taunters, and with Kel'Thuzad and something like Sludge Belcher, you can trade off the Belcher and comes back to life. And here we saw really strong usage with in combination with the Cairn, and he was able to just flood the board.
Yeah, with Cairn, that's like one of the best things ever. If he didn't have that equality, it could have been a little bit harder to finish everything off. He would have had to take a little bit more damage with the sword, probably. A little bit rough, but he had the cards he needed and took that out. So, as Neirea here, you have Priest and Hunter. You have to go Hunter? I mean, I feel like Pally versus Priest is quite nice for Pally, personally.
I would play the Hunter here. Like I've said many times, Paladin's weakness. Wow.
All right, well,
he's confident in the matchup, and or he feels like the Hunter is not so strong against the heals, because the Aggro Hunter that he is running might kind of run out of steam.
Yeah.
Against the heals.
Yeah, definitely could. This is tough though, because he's going to want to do a lot of work with this Priest. I'm a little bit afraid of this Hunter trying to take out his Zoo deck. So, you know, if he has to go into his Hunter after this, the counter of Rogue and the counter of Warlock both seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, well, starting hand, not the most awesome hands really on both sides.
Not at all.
A little bit slow.
The Thought Steal is pretty good in a slow matchup like this. It's going to be exciting to see what he gets with it.
Yeah.
I mean, he could drop a Wild Pyro, because it's likely that there's going to be a Paladin hero power next turn, so then he could, on turn 3, he could potentially go Note Siren, kill off the dude and draw a card.
Yeah, I definitely do like that very much.
Also gives him kind of the early board control.
Well, I do believe that's what we're going to see here. He's looking at it and he's just saying, do you have a Northshire in your hand? Because if he does, then this hero power is terrible for him.
And there it is. He chooses to go with the hero power over his own Wild Pyro.
Oh.
Thought Steal. I would have...
Well, I mean, it kills the 1/1, and he should be able to heal the next turn, but I definitely would have played it the other way around.
I would have probably dropped the Cleric too.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's afraid of a True Silver coming out or something like that, and he wants to save it for a little bit, but... there is no True Silver, so I guess he's fine.
What do you think about the Thought Steal, by the way? Iron Beak Owl, Sentient Shield Master.
Pretty bad. The Senjin is like one of the cards I would least like to see for sure. I think that the Owl is okay. I like getting another Silence for sure. He has 2 Silences now.
It's not too bad, but I mean, gotta be honest, whenever you Thought Steal against a Paladin, what you want is either Humility or Alder Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Because of the combination with the Cabal Shadow Priest. Allows you to steal stuff like Tyrion and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. If you get an Aldor and you can steal a Tyrion or something like that, that's just a game winner.
Senshin not bad here though.
Yeah, it'll work out this time.
It matches up fairly well against those. The Paladin could have a True Silver here and then would get an easy trade with the dude and the True Silver. But he doesn't have it. So his options are kind of limited.
Well, I think you're probably just going to... Oh, okay, he's making sure that this dies no matter what.
Yeah, even if it's healed.
Reasonable. We'll heal it up. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes this out too with this Holy Smite.
I'm pretty sure he will.
Yeah.
And there we go.
All right. So, at least he does have the board for now. Actually, a very hard hand, very good hand for him, rather.
Instant Kodo.
Yeah. Well, when you're playing 2 and you get a turn like this, you're happy you're playing 2, whereas sometimes they clog your hand.
And even if he was playing just 1, it doesn't get much better than that against Priest.
Sludge Belcher will come out. Another 3-5 on that board. Had a lot of 3-5s so far this game.
Yeah, holding on to the Sylvanas like he should. I mean, you don't want to drop it against that. There are so many cards that the Paladin could have to have an easy way dealing with it. Now, after the Cairn, the Sylvanas is likely to come out.
Well, let's see. Yeah, a couple Shadow Word Deaths here. Well,
Has to be the Sylvanas out of those options.
Yeah.
Matches up so well against the Cairn when the Cairn is played first. Because if they somehow get a trade, the Sylvanas will actually steal the 4-5.
Yeah, very true.
That's one of those things that that used to be kind of different, but now the order in which the minions are played is extremely important here.
This is actually looking a little bit rough because I would be very scared of this Sylvanas for the next turn. Like for instance, if he just like played another minion or something, Sylvanas could just straight up take Karn.
Yep.
You've got to play a dude here as well, just to make that Sylvanas a little bit weaker.
Yep. I mean, he didn't have a silence for the Sylvanas, so the next best thing is just to try play minions that are not so great.
What do you think about
if they get stolen?
What do you think about just stealing your opponent's slime this turn? I think that's pretty much just what I would do.
Steal the slime.
Yeah, like attack Sylvanas into Sludge Belcher,
And
play
then,
your Cavill Shadow Priest.
and then heal up the Sylvanas.
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't want this Sylvanas to go down very easily yet.
Yeah, that seems alright. I mean, he does have silence for the Cairn too, but with the Sylvanas on the board, do you really need to silence the Cairn?
I don't think so. Yeah, the Sylvanas is going to be just more powerful here.
Trying to think if there's a reason to hold on to the Cabal, but probably not.
Yeah, there's not like a lot of minions that the priest has that you're really into getting it.
No.
Like, I haven't seen yet if he's playing Harvest Golems or he's using like Shades or something, but I would say overall it's like he's already killed one of the North Shires, and other than that, you're going to steal a dude most of the time.
Yeah. With so many minions on the priest side of the board, Consecration seems to be the play.
Yeah, I would definitely like a Consecration here.
That Sylvanas is still very painful for the Paladin.
Well, if you go Consecration, right, you can suicide something into the Cabal to finish her off.
Yeah, I guess he could like drop a dude.
Yeah.
And try to hope that his opponent gets that instead of the Bane.
I think that this is reasonable. And the thing is, he can Humility it if it's really bothering him.
Yep, he does go for it.
Let's see. Oh. The eye roll from Neirea here.
Yeah, that was a big coin flip.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah, it sure is. Looking at his hand, he doesn't have all that many great,
No.
I mean, empty board plays.
Yeah, the Holy Fire just, you actually kind
On
of
his
have to do
own
that.
Bane.
The 4/5 is just too
That's
annoying.
painful. Had to deal with his own Bane.
Yeah. This seems completely reasonable. One of the only cards in this deck, really, that you're going to be able to use your Shadow Word Death on. So I think he's probably not going to hesitate in doing so.
Yep.
Oh.
There will be a Shadow Word Death.
Okay, yeah.
What else? Goes
Yeah,
with the
that's-
Orkanai. Gives him an easy way to deal with the 1/1. Not bad.
Just keep his dude out there.
Mm-hmm.
But now you know one Shadow Word Death is gone. I guess the only other minions he should have in here that would work on is maybe a Sylvanas and... Oh, he actually has a Harrison, but that's like
Not
the
gonna
least
do
of your
much in
worries.
this matchup.
Well, he could steal a True Silver Champion, or perhaps he just steals your Tyrion. That's actually because a lot of the time, now that I think about this, a lot of the time with Tyrion, I try to wait until I've seen a Mind Control. Like, we're already in fatigue before I play him against a Priest. But in this case, you could play him earlier, and if he gets Mind Controlled and you can kill him...
So you bait out the mind control with the Tyrion.
That's right. And then you take the weapon and you kill the weapon. Isn't that... And
Wow.
it'll have 3 charges because you're going to kill it on your turn, right? Yeah. Yeah. The sickest plays.
Wow.
All right, so... Looks like he's just trying to decide exactly what he wants to do here with You know, this Akanai. The Akanai is so useful and so flexible. It gives you a lot of options about how to deal with this board right now.
It's not time for mind control just yet. He knows that the Paladin runs some even bigger threats.
Yeah, like KT.
Yeah,
Is
so...
in hand.
But does he need to hold on to the second Shadow over Death? This is kind of interesting.
Oh, okay. I really do like this because it does line him up to only trade.
Decides to keep it. It would have been stronger to play the Shadow over Death, but he recognized that he's going to need it later for something even more threatening.
Yeah. Well, that KT really sealed the deal last game, so
It sure did.
that's going to stay fresh in your mind, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And between that and the Tyrion, definitely he's got some good targets.
Is this the time for the KT?
God, the thing is,
could
I'd be
be.
so afraid of him stealing KT. Well, he has one way he actually can deal with it, now that I look at this. Because he does have Kodo plus Aldor, so he actually has a very good way to deal.
Yeah, he can deal with it.
Now, do we see the mind control? Or are we going to see a Shadow or Death? Because
Good question.
I think
He
Shadow
might
or
hold on to the mind control.
Yeah, I think I would, because you don't actually get anything good out of this, the 3-4 dying right now, other than just giving more, you know, health to KT.
Now, if there's something like an equality, the board is going to be empty and the priest is going to have quite weak cards.
This is going to be heartbreaking. Oh, okay.
Chooses to go with yeah.
And that is just so one-sided right there.
Yeah, that's a really strong turn.
Neirea has to be quite upset with the way that this game has gone so far. Just complete domination from the Pally control deck from Max.
How does he clear this? I guess Shadow Madness would allow him to kill two things, but not for now.
Huh. Doesn't have it, so...
Cleric Blade Master heal?
Thing is, that dies straight up to the weapon charger plus the dude.
It does.
What do you think
Doesn't seem
about-
like good? Well, what else is there? His options are really limited.
I mean, you could steal the dude with the 4/5 because the dude is actually giving that one extra damage that he needs for everything. So having this is going to force the Kodo into the dude, which means that the 4/5 can trade with the Kodo. Well, likely not 100%, but definitely something that can happen here.
the problem here is that Paladin will get a really nice trade with the already damaged Harrison Jones into the Cabal.
Yeah, this was a very good play here by Max. But I think Neirea didn't really have a whole lot of options here, unfortunately.
There was no strong play. He had just had to pick the one that was least bad.
I think you're healing up your Blade Master here. As terrible as that seems, like
He has to draw.
he has to draw into something better. He has enough life to play with still. Like, he's not out of this yet. Like, let's say he draws a Circle of Healing. He can draw a couple more cards this turn and have a big board, too. Oh, my
but there's the low
God.
tap. He can't do it. Oh, no.
Oh, God, and he
hovering
already
over.
dropped it.
Oh.
I was so excited about that. I'm
no.
like, well, this is the one card that can really do it.
And he was hovering over it like as if he could cast it, I think.
Yeah.
I think he got a bit excited there and forgot about low tap.
Yeah. Well, I
The
did
way
too.
he was shaking his head and...
That's well, right there.
Oh,
I mean, you
no.
draw 3 cards and you have 2 4/7s out. Like, that is the sickest play. But right now, I would say when I see them just drop this after a heal, you have to clear these out. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Wow. After a turn like that, I think that you're not coming back here. Like, I think that Max just sealed the deal through Neirea's kind of mess up, his little mistake there.
Yeah, the Paladin hero power might take over here. I mean, looking at Max's hand, his hand is also kind of full of answers, and there's nothing really to add on the board right now. But he already has a 5/4, and he can just play dude and pass.
Yeah. And a dude every turn, man, that adds up really quickly.
Sure does.
He does have a Holy Nova to get out of that, so he can just draw for a few turns. In fact, now he has a second one. He wants another minion to be played so he can double Holy Nova.
Yeah. Wants to get more value out of those.
But he's not going to get any. In a situation
No
like
way.
this, when your hand is not near 10 cards, I think that you're going to hero power pass every single time and make them waste something on this Lotheb.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, if you're max there, why commit more stuff on the board?
Yeah.
Nothing really fits. Play silence on nothing? Nope.
Well, he is going to leave the Lotheb out for now. Would you consider using your Holy Light on this? I would. If you use that play, that would be so amazing here.
That would actually be really good. I mean, it seems like he won't need it for himself.
Thing is, we've already seen Holy Smite. Okay, so that's a 2 damage. We've only seen 1 Holy Nova, and most people play 2. We know that there's another Auchenai. I think 2 is such a dangerous health, and there's no way he needs to gain that 6 health this game. He's got such control. I think he's able to.
I think he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Just having the low tap at 2 toughness, he knows that it will die to something like Auchenai hero power.
Yeah.
Does go for it. Good for him.
Yeah. Neirea kind of squinting as that happens. Another painful moment for him. If he had cast the second Holy Nova, he could have taken that out, but now that Holy Nova not worth nearly as much.
No. And I mean, Holy Light is one of those cards that can be really difficult to use efficiently in this matchup because of how late it gets, and the priest is not playing that aggressive, so you don't need the Holy Light for yourself, so you can just Holy Light on a minion, but sometimes finding the right timing to Holy Light a minion and get good use out of it can be difficult, but here he found a good time.
Well, looks like he does have to use this removal finally. Did bait that out. It's going to make him a lot safer for some of these later plays.
Yeah, I mean,
like that.
2 Shadow Deaths are gone, 1 Mind Control is gone. Put your faith in the light.
Well, you know, this is so rough. You know that he doesn't have anything that deals with this well. The best he can really do is silence here.
He does have it though.
Yeah.
It is going to be a strong turn.
No doubt about that.
Auchenai, Circle.
Hero power and...
Yeah.
Would you consider... Wait, no. Okay, you can't do that. But you could go ahead and play the Power Word Shield. I would really like to see that on it. You don't want to leave that guy at 1 health. Oh, he actually... Yes, he does. Never mind.
Did you spot how many cards there were left in that X?
I didn't spot it.
Because it seemed like he was hovering over just to see like how the fatigue is gonna go, and before... Okay. So he might be a bit afraid of casting the Power Word Shield because of fatigue, potentially.
Okay. Well, we do have a silence go down on this. Okay, he makes it a 1-1 as well. That's...
Yep.
I mean, that's a lot to do that, but it could have been healed as well, and with 3 attack, it definitely would have taken out a minion, so I kind of like it.
I really like the Alder, just because he just drew a second one. So if there is like a big threat, he can still afford to use it. If he didn't throw the second Alder, he might have not used it here.
Well, this is a really great play with Holy Nova and Wild Pyro.
It sure is. Wow. But is it gonna be enough? All the answers in the Paladin's hand are just...
Yeah, they're just so good, and that's a great draw as well.
Yes, please.
For justice.
True Silvering that. And dude.
Yeah.
Again, no reason to play anything else.
That's all he needs with only 2 cards left in hand right now. Really annoying to try to deal with, but you know what? He does have a way to draw. Oh, that's what he needs.
It's gonna be big. If he gets some kind of Acolyte. Not what he wants to see in a game which is likely to go into fatigue.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple Sen'jins. We've already seen Tyrion. We've already seen at least 1 Sludge Belcher. I don't know if there's even going to be any targets for this Black Knight.
4 cards in Neirea's deck.
Yeah.
That Acolyte of Pain feels like an innervate at this point. It's just as useless. You can't play it. I mean, or Deadly Poison. It's like a Deadly Poison. It's completely useless.
Very well
Neirea
said.
has 2 dead cards in his hand.
Oh, man.
Paladin is kind of famous for winning all the fatigue wars. It just because of the hero power in games that go this long, the Paladin almost always wins. And he really needed something better than a Black Knight and an Acolyte from the Thought Steal.
Yeah, that's it. The Acolyte it's a punch in the gut.
Yeah.
As you said, a deadly poison is what that is.
Yeah.
Definitely not something you're going to want to put out. Dudes will be running into that all day. Okay, so he actually goes ahead and drops Sylvanas here. I think this is fine at this point. You know that he doesn't play a second mind control. His silences are certainly going to be gone by now.
Yeah. I don't know like how well does Max know Neirea's deck list? Because if there was something like a Ysera still left in the deck, playing the Sylvanas right now would maybe open up a possibility to first kill it and then drop a Ysera on the following turn.
Oh, okay.
But I don't
that's a
think,
good point. There
I don't think
definitely could be.
Neirea plays it. So
I don't remember seeing Ysera in his deck, even though we did see a few Yseras recently.
we have seen it popping up in some priest lists, but not all of them.
Yeah.
No.
And he actually
Shakes his head and then drops the Acolyte.
kind of
He
interesting.
feels like he has to play it.
Well, he's got to do something, I guess.
Yeah, it's a desperate move, but he feels like there's still some card that he's hoping to draw quickly to maybe give him a chance.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that can even be at this point. Like,
No.
maybe he... Wait, did he already use 2 Thought Steals this game?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit rough. Soldier Belcher, not the worst card. He's got... This leaves 1 card in deck for him, right?
I believe so.
Oh, man.
Or is there 2?
It's 1 or 2, and he
think
still has
it's
his
2.
Powered Shield, which I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to see played at all
No,
this game.
it won't be played.
Of course, you do got to
Yeah.
remove that guy.
Doesn't want to draw. Black Knight. It's not gonna
He's just
follow
hoping that
out.
his opponent draws a taunt. Oh, okay, I thought we saw... Oh, you know what? He thought stole Ascension. That's why we saw 2.
Yeah, that's right.
That has to be a little bit painful right now for Neirea. But he's going to be very happy to see the Ascension come out.
For sure. But I feel like it's not gonna be enough.
No. Oh, God. That is
That is
the worst card ever.
Another deadly poison.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, he will end up getting a minion if he kills everything off
Yeah.
like this.
He needs to try to... Oh, he's trying to keep the Acolyte to the opponent.
Oh, there you have it. All right, well, I mean, that's one way you could start to win a bit on Fatigue. Another card that's not going to be too useful here. Oh, I love it. He silences his
awesome.
own Acolyte.
That's
That
so
is
good.
not something you see every day.
No. Neirea out of cards with 2 Power Word Seals. And a Circle of Healing.
Well,
it.
that's not what you're looking for, is it? And the thing is, by playing that, that's, yeah, GG, that's it. And it looks like Max goes up 2-0 right now with this Pally deck. And that means that he has to bring out his Hunter.
It's gonna be tough trying to take 3 games with the Hunter.
Yeah, but you know what? It is Hunter. And we've all won games where we didn't draw the buzzard. You just maybe you pretend that you're in that game, right? Where you're looking for the buzzard, it's just not coming up. I don't remember exactly every card in this deck.
I believe there was stuff like Arcane Golems and Leper Gnomes, and it was like a hyper-aggressive Hunter.
Yeah.
And a deck like that can absolutely beat anything if you get the right draws.
Yeah.
But it's really draw-dependent, and for someone like Neirea, who is very experienced with many control decks and stuff, playing the Hunter now, I mean, his options are kind of limited, and no matter how good he is, it will still be depending heavily on the draws.
That is true, but I got to say, I've always liked Aggro Hunter against Miracle Rogue personally. I know that the Miracle Rogue can race a lot of time, but the newer Miracle Rogues that are more board control oriented, I think are going to have a little bit harder time. So the one that I would be very scared about here, I feel like the Hunter can take out the Pally, but the Warlock could be very, very tough.
Yeah, it will be. But I feel like he might be able to take out the Pally. We'll see. But it's going to be really difficult for Neirea from this point on.
All right, well, he keeps a Mad Scientist and an Animal Companion. Both make a lot of sense.
There is the explosive trap, so if he was to go up against the zoo, that would help a lot.
I wonder if he's playing 3 or 4 traps in this deck, because he already has a Mad Scientist. Because then if he's only playing 3, it's a little bit sad, but...
It's like the most depressing thing in this game when you're playing Hunter and you draw all of your traps and after that start drawing the Scientist.
Yeah, it is very sad. If you play the Undertaker, I guess you can power him up with them, but that's like a pretty weak 2-drop.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, so he does drop this Pyro.
Yep. And does he need to trade here? Not necessarily.
I don't know that I would trade.
I mean, with a deck like this, you need to be going for face a lot.
Yeah, because the reason that he dropped this this Wild Pyro was to trade with this 2/2. So I think I would let him trade into it, just deal the extra 2 damage, because he's going to do it either way.
Yeah, every single point of damage matters here.
The question is, do you play the Leopardome? Because he'll probably trade into it and then play a dude, and then the dude can set up the trap the next turn because you won't have your Leopardome. Because if you play the Leopardome, he could possibly use a spell to get rid of it. Or oh, he does trade into it though. Okay, that's definitely one way to do it. Which trap was that? Did you see? Well, it's
I'm not
either
sure.
explosive or freezing, most likely.
Yeah, I think so. I would be surprised to see a snake trap here. Or
Yeah.
a snipe or something.
Yeah.
So it is a freezing trap since we can see it from the borders. Huffer.
Well,
6
that's
two-face.
That's
Not
what
bad
Chalky
at
says
all.
how you win with this deck. You
Yeah.
roll Huffer.
In this situation, it was the best one he could have hoped for.
Yeah, definitely
Misha
was.
would have been 4 damage, Huffer 8. Not
Yeah.
bad at all.
Very true. Well, he does use that sword charge, already down to 22 health on turn 4 with nothing on the board. Luckily, he does have a Sludge Belcher in hand, so that'll be helpful.
But Neirea does have the owl, so he can bypass the first taunt.
Yeah, that's true. I do like this usage of the hero power as well.
Yeah, me too.
Like, he can always put down the freezing after something comes down. There's nothing with charge there, so...
Yeah, but feels almost pointless to play a trap there.
Well, he does use a Consecration, but this is like... Even as a Paladin here, I'd still be a little bit nervous. 16 health. Okay, he's still got plenty of cards in hand. Ooh.
That Eaglehorn bow.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was an excellent draw.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 6 damage for sure. Maybe even more with the traps.
Yeah, I would say over time, that's very, very likely. Does play the Sludge Belcher now. The thing is, I think for sure that we see probably a freezing trap on that, I would want to
It
see.
could be a freezing.
I want to see a freezing trap, the Leopardome, and hero power here, to be honest, because he's setting himself up perfectly to win this game in that case. Because you can just silence afterwards and run in your Arcane Golem as well.
Another bow. But
I think I'd take the Abusive Sergeant, actually.
yeah, me too. I feel like that would be a 2 damage, almost guaranteed with
Yeah,
the golem.
for 1 mana, that's I think that's really
Yeah.
solid. Like,
He does have a bow already.
yeah, the bow is like a little bit too slow. Like, I think you're going to kill him before then. Pally is not going to get more than 2 minions out, so Unleash, I don't see it being that useful. Yeah, I would love to see Abusive Sergeant. Take the Abusive, play the Freezing Trap, play the Leopardome, and use hero power. And that next turn, you either silence a taunt or, you know, it's just so much damage incoming. And that's exactly what he does.
Yeah. He took the hounds, I think. Right?
Oh, he did take the Hounds, yes.
He took the hounds, but and I think the reason behind that is that he knows that he's playing against the paladin and the hero power is gonna spawn stuff, so it might
Yeah,
be.
that is true. And
Might be key.
you know, if he draws into a kill command, that's another beast in hand if the owl doesn't make it to whenever this happens. Just kind of maybe playing for the longer game here, as opposed to really trying to get the kill right now with the Abusive. Seems reasonable.
I think that's GG.
I definitely would not be...
Even if he heals
Happy
up,
about this.
even if he heals up the... No, wait. Yes, that's over. Because he can silence the taunt.
Yeah.
Hero power, Arcane Golem.
And wow, that
Doesn't
is
even
a
need the hero
quick
power.
deck right there.
Sure is. He could have healed there but with the True Silver, but it would still not have been enough.
Yeah.
That was so one-sided game, and this is actually kind of what I was expecting. I'm a bit surprised that Neirea didn't bring it before the Priest against the Paladin.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like the Hunter does exactly what Paladin is weak against.
Yeah,
It has a fast, strong early game.
The Paladin early game it's brutal, man. Even if you draw all of your early game cards in the right order, sometimes you still lose to a game like that where you can't stabilize, you know. They're freezing trapping all your stuff that you need to stay on the board to keep you alive, and you just end up losing. But a good game there from Neirea.
Yeah, sure
Can he
was.
3-0 with this deck, though, when there's a Zoo deck in there? There are explosive traps, so that's
I
good.
think he has a fair chance.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
plays on Unleashed, too, so...
Explosive Trap is not like a perfect card because of all the death rattles, like from the Nerubian egg and stuff. So as a Zoo player, if you spot that there's a likely Explosive Trap up, you just play a 2 mana 4/4. So there are ways to work around it, but we'll see.
Indeed we will. And he does go right into this Zoo deck. I think it's a completely fair choice to go straight into the Zoo and save
I
your
agree.
Miracle for the Miracle finish if you need it.
Yeah, I like the Zoo pick here. Does he keep the Owl? I would be really tempted to keep the Owl. He knows that there's a lot of death rattle coming up. And it
Yeah.
also allows to get through the taunt if there's like a Defender of Argus also.
Seems reasonable. Could be good on a Nerubian egg or something like that. So.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's one of the scariest things, like a Nerubian egg with Defender of Argus next to it. Well, gonna open with a Leper Gnome.
Yep, easy downs for both players. Does he go for the egg right now?
Yeah, I
He
actually
does.
quite like that. And with the wolf, like he can sacrifice this egg into probably, I think we're gonna see the Loot Hoarder here.
I would expect the Owl. Oh, he wants to get the bow out as fast as possible. I guess that's fair.
Oh, well, he does have a second bow, so actually I
Yeah.
can't fault him for that at all.
No. And the Owl would have had a trade with the Void Walker. So I can understand why he did that.
I think we will see the Owl, though, coming up.
Yeah, it will happen.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen this turn.
Also a pretty decent Owl target, but I'm a little bit more afraid of this becoming an 0-4 at my first explosive trap.
Yeah, the egg is definitely the more scary one. Silence a 2-1 death rattle or a 4-4 death rattle. Let's get rid of 4-4. He still doesn't go for it. Now he's just hoping that there's no power overwhelming or anything like that.
Would you Direwolf Alpha here and kill off the Leok with these two?
Yeah, it seems like a strong play.
Yeah, it seems really good. And now the lack of Owl here has really bitten him in the butt.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake from Neirea, waiting so long with the Owl. Now it's
Yeah.
too late. I mean, there will be something else to silence, but the other silence targets won't be as good. So I feel like he missed an opportunity by not silencing the egg in time.
Well. Ooh. That's a hard one.
Sure is.
You prevent 2 damage if you do attack that wolf right now.
He's thinking about the explosive trap for next turn.
Yeah, would you consider maybe killing off the spider so that you get all the tokens too?
It doesn't feel good. I
No,
mean,
it's certainly... And your opponent at 28 health, I'm like, oh, attacking face doesn't even really make sense here.
No. Takes out
Like
the
him.
wolf. I kind of like that because now he might pick up something better than the explosive. If he was to go for the Nerubian or maybe the Haunted Creeper, then he would have been forced to play the explosives next turn.
Well, looks like he's going to go ahead and play out basically his whole hand here.
Yeah.
Gonna
Does
save
he
that Soulfire. If
he
you save
could
that
Soulfire.
Yeah.
Because the next card drawn might be a Doom card.
Yeah. In fact, the rule of Soulfire is if you have it in your hand like that and you keep it, you're greedy and there's a Doom Guard coming.
Yeah. It happens really often.
It does. I don't want to sound like mysterious, like there's magic in this game, but like it feels that way sometimes.
Wow. Now he's feeling
Yeah.
so great about Soulfiring last turn.
Yeah. The thing is, that's 8, that's 12.
He needs 2 damage.
Yeah, it's
something
very
like
doable.
Something like an Abusive Sergeant or Direwolf from the life tap, and this
Yeah.
game is gonna be over.
Let's see what it is.
What does he get? He can't cast that quite yet.
Well, I mean,
But how
you're not going to deal 21 damage this turn.
No. He would need to clear and freezing trap, but there's no way. He doesn't know it, but this game's over.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well,
That's a lethal nobody's gonna miss. Like, no matter.
no one's going to miss that one.
And that is it. Max moves to the round of 8.
Wow.
No, wait. Sorry. This
Well,
was
he
from the
loses
losers
to the
bracket.
next match, and in
Yeah,
fact,
so
the first player eliminated.
Yeah, will be Neirea.
Yeah, one of the best Hearthstone players in the world, absolutely out right now. Frodan, what did you think about that match with Max?
I'm shocked. I hype Neirea as probably one of the players almost has the highest percentage to advance to the top 4 for BlizzCon. He's first player out. And, some people might be chalking to, maybe Neirea got unlucky or maybe he, didn't get the right day of draws and whatnot. But either way, you have to credit Max for playing pretty solid overall and being the surprise factor here.
Yeah. Do you guys think that maybe this played a part, the fact that he went Priest against the Paladin instead of the Hunter? I really felt like the Hunter would have been. But the thing is, I guess if the Hunter goes against the Pal, you really expect the counter of Warlock, and then you have to 2-0 with Priest. So maybe he was trying to, Priest versus Pally a little bit closer than Hunter versus Warlock, so that he didn't have to use Priest against Rogue, something like that.
If we have to point out a mistake from Neirea, I feel like it might have been picking the Priest before the Hunter. But I mean, I'm sure he had a plan, and he felt like the Priest was better in that spot. And I haven't played a Hunter quite like that, and I'm not sure if the matchup is as good as I think it is against the Paladin. But he felt like the Priest had a better chance, and it did not work out this time.
Certainly did not. It's crazy that he's the first one out of the tournament. I thought he would win his group.
I would have never guessed that.
I thought he was going to end up going to
Blizzard.
BlizzCon.
I mean, his recent streak of tournaments, he's been getting to top 4 or finals, every single one.
Yeah.
And I suppose you can't always win them all, especially in a game like Hearthstone. But what an upset to start things off here in day number 2. We're going to take a quick second to get Max here up for the interview and pull his thoughts about how he went for the series. So hang tight, guys.
Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
All right, so as we get Max headset fixed here, as probably want to put a pop filter there. Max, talk to me a little bit about going into the series. You're up against one of the 2 seeds in the losers match where elimination, it's win or go home. It must have been pretty nerve-wracking to start things off.
Yeah. When I saw Neirea had lost his first match, I was really hoping I'd be able to win my first match and avoid playing Neirea. I practiced a lot yesterday with Ties. Ties helped me practice. And I figured he's going to ban my Druid. He banned Druid in the first match. And I knew he was going to ban Druid. So I just prepared with all my other decks against his decks. I knew I had to ban Handlock. All my decks lose to Handlock. So I was pretty nervous, but I had a good game plan.
Yeah, it went according to the strategy. Artosis, do you have any questions to ask Mask here?
Well, you're going up against Kaur next, and I mean, he's obviously got that double BGH Druid deck that we've been talking so much about. How are you going to go ahead and choose your ban for this match?
So I banned Warlock again.
Okay, makes sense.
Because, as I said, all my decks lose to Handlock. I came into this tournament saying I'm not going to play BGH. I'm just going to ban Warlock every single match. And so far, it's worked out half the time.
Oh, well,
hey, there you go.
Get a rematch with Quar, who you did lose to on day 1. I mean, this is a rematch, so as much as you have information on him, he has information on you. How confident do you feel this second time around? Do you feel like it's gotten, has the percentages changed at all in any person's favor?
I feel pretty confident going into the match. I think he's probably pretty confident too. He's already beaten me. I did beat him in the qualifier, so now we are 1-1 in best of 5s.
Oh, okay.
So it should be a really good match. I am feeling pretty confident. Now that he knows I'm playing Zoo, the surprise factor's gone, but I still think it's a good choice, even though he knows I'm playing it.
All right, well, quite the series that you have on your plate coming up. It's to move into the top 8. Savis, do you have any last questions for Max before we send him off and get ready for next match?
I was a bit interested in, because you said that you were a bit afraid of Neirea, or you were hoping not to play him. Was it because of how successful he has been online, or because of the line of decks that he chose for the match?
Mostly because of how successful he's been online. I'm not really afraid of any of his decks. But yeah, he has really good tournament performances. He's had really good ladder performances. I guess I'm just afraid of big names right now.
Well, the next guy, Quar, you've matched up against him. Like you said, it's 1-1 in the overall series. So this best of 5 determines the overall best of 3 and who moves to the top 8. So good luck in your next match. We don't want to take too much of your time as you do have to get prepared because we will have Max versus Quar coming up on stream. But make sure to stay engaged, guys. Tell us what you thought about that series. Were you surprised that Neirea got eliminated, or were you the ones who were pulling out for Max, the underdog? Let us know by hashtagging Road to BlizzCon on Twitter and Facebook. We'll be back after a few, guys. Stay tuned.